Hi, good morning. I'm doing day 4 of our calendar, and the name that is given to Jesus is Redeemer. I'm loving the Advent calendar because it has so many names of Jesus, and like a diamond, it has got many facets, and each facet together make up the whole diamond, and each facet in itself has a beauty. And so that's how I see the names of Jesus. And, you know, during life, there are many needs that we have. Each of us is individual. So even our circumstances change and are different from each other. But then throughout life, our circumstances change and we need something different. And Jesus has all of those things that we need. So today we're just looking at one of them, which is the Redeemer. So my job is to explain how Jesus is a Redeemer, and I feel it best to do this by telling a story. And it's a simple story which even children will understand, and you've got my level, that's me. So the story is about a boy about 11 years old. And he makes himself, it's a little bit of an Enid Blyton type story, so you can think of the famous 5. So this lad has decided to make himself a boat, and it's just a sail on the river. It's not one that you can sit in, but he chooses a nice piece of wood and he fashions it. His skills aren't too bad, and he's very proud of himself when he's making this boat, and he can manage to balance it so that it sails straight, and when it rocks it comes back up to upright. And he paints it and it makes it look really, really good. And he looks at it and he goes, I love this boat. I am really proud of what I've done. And he goes and he sails it on the river. And he takes it out a few times and on the river, and he's loving it. He loves what he's done, and he's really enjoying the fact that this boat is the bee's knees. Anyway, sadly, a wind comes up and it takes his boat away down the stream, and he runs after it, but it was just one of those things. He couldn't catch it and he couldn't get it. So sadly, very sadly, he goes home, and he goes home without his boat. So first part of the story. Later on, not quite sure how long it was, but he happens to be going through a town, and he looks in the window of a shop, and lo and behold, his boat was in that window of the shop. It was like one of these second-hand type shops, and he saw his boat in the window. Of course, it had a price tag on it as well. So he went in to the shop, and he said to the owner, I'm interested in that boat that's in the window. And the owner gets it out, and he looks at it and he goes, yeah, this is my boat. This is definitely my boat. So he says to the owner, I'd like this boat. So the owner said, well, it's got a price tag on it. You need to pay the price tag and it's yours. So even though in his heart he knew, do you know what? This is my boat anyway. He has to pay the price tag. And so in paying up, coughing up the money that he had to pay to buy out his own boat. And so that is, his boat was then redeemed, and he had redeemed his boat from the shop, and it now belonged to him. And as he walked out the shop, he held up the boat and he went, you're mine twice. I made you and I've bought you. And so that's how precious the boat was to him. And that little boy reminds us of Jesus, and how Jesus made us, and he was proud. He was delighted with what he had made. And yet when we've gone astray and we were lost, maybe blown by a different wind, and we moved away from God, and yet Jesus never forgot us, and he has redeemed us. And when he came to earth, when we celebrate Christmas, the reason that Jesus came to this earth was to bring peace, to bring joy, for celebration, for all of those things. But his main aim was to give his life, and he became one of us so that he could die on the cross and redeem us and buy us back. And of course, it's our choice to say to Jesus, yeah, I want to have you again. You know how I work. You know how all the different things that you made about me, you understand, and you can meet those needs. And so just want to finish off with a verse. It's in Ephesians, and it talks about redeeming or redemption. In him, that's Jesus, we have redemption through his blood, the price, the forgiveness of sins, in accordance with the riches of God's grace that he has lavished on us. So remember that today. We have been bought. God is lavishing things upon us. And today these things can be yours because of what Jesus has done for us, the Redeemer. Thank you.